his pace going back towards goal, and there's a penchant to lay tackles and hold the ball in. That man, it's a penchant to crash into bodies, and that is a vital matchup in the second half.
Just 2 goals in the second quarter. The Eagles have their noses in front. Second half of Derby 43 underway. Natanui straight down to Pritis. Yo for Shuey. Hearn just wanted to get it on the boot. Bounce will be important. Natanui attacked it hard. There's Cripps involved. And a good tackle by Alex Pearce.
Someone's lost their mouthguard there. Yeah, good spot by the cameraman. Alex Pearce straight away. Well done, boys.
Grass-flavoured mouthguard now. There's Natanui. Slaps it in the gaff direction. It's going to be a slippery footy to pick up, but not for Luke Shuey. The kick, though, a tough one. Josh Hill, Sheridan, Fife was clean. Alex Pearce couldn't hang on. Josh Hill, not 15. Mzungu, he's turned it over. Here's Cripps, the man we spoke about. The bounce is crucial, and it goes the Eagles' way.
Well, he's got a bit of deep heat at half-time there, Dan. Jamie Cripps looks pretty sore, and obviously his knee and upper quad there is bandaged up, but the umpire did call play on for that short kick, but they were able to keep the ball moving here, the Eagles, and just follow it up. Well done there by Cripps, who cut it off. A nice finish just round the shoulders. Zach Dawson didn't have time to react, and really disappointed Rossi Lyon. He would have fired the troops up at half-time. To let through an early goal is disappointing.
Great goal, but one thing Ross Lyon hates is a give-up possession, and Mzungu gave that up with a missed handball. It should have been a bang on the boot down the line, and his teammates have told him as well, and Ross will send somebody out to reaffirm that.
Out of the middle, Pritis to Hearn. Kick smothered well by Alex Pearce. Neil at the base of the pack.
She worked hard.
Got it to Fife. Kick smothered. Marston wants to use his pace. His first game for the season. You see it to the boundary line. Valentine right there with him.
I think the Dogs will be hoping it keeps raining, Dan, because certainly this will nullify the fact that Sandilands is not out there. Make it more of a ground game.
It's a big job for Pearce now, isn't it?
Natanui against Alex Pearce. Sandilands to take no further part in the game. Marston. Yo was off the kick by Fife. Mzungu. Neil squeezes a kick out. Creative stuff from Shuey. Never controlled it, but still got it on his boot. And then Sutcliffe lets himself down, hacking off the deck. Out of bounds on the full.
I wonder, Dermot, whether they'd look at going with a runner and maybe just taking Pearce back to the forward line and allowing Fife or Barlow to do some ruck work and just go small. Maybe possibly lose the hit-outs but get it at ground level.
Totally in your camp. Put Pearce in for the centre bounce. That's a well worked mark there. Put Pearce in for the centre bounce, run him out, and just make Fife your #1 ruckman around the grounds.
Controlled the kick for Kennedy. Doc is getting back in numbers. Kennedy called to go. Still got a man clear, and it's Gaff. Tight angle, tough kick in the wet.
There's a lot of bodies in there now. A little bit of moisture in the air. That'll take a yard or two, a metre or two off the total carry.
Doesn't want to have the shot. Will he just set it up? Andrew Gaff, he tried the shot, but well off the side of the boot. Out of bounds on the full.
Drop it to the centre of the boot.
The rain really coming down. Out of defence. Shank kick, but it works okay for Ibbotson. Bounces back to his feet. Up towards Pavlich. Went off the face of McKenzie, who got the Falcon. Yo, Pritis, McGovern. Dangerous kick towards the top of the 50. Foot races on. Kennedy will get there first. The ball bounces up to him nicely. And then around the body, Josh Kennedy right to the square. It's kicked out of the air. Remarkable from Josh Hill. What a goal!
Don't look at the touch. Did Josh Hill kick this out of the air, or was that touched by Gareth Ibbotson? Gee, certainly looked like it was touched from where we were, but obviously the goal umpire's got the best vantage point. Look at Ibbotson reaches over that right shoulder.
Definitely touched. Definitely touched.
Yeah, I would have thought so, but
the umpire was right there, wasn't he? He seems very confident. Didn't even want to go for the review.
They'll have to take this back. The replay, they're all set up in the middle. But they'll have to take this back.
The scorers are behind. It is off the Fremantle player's hand.
When you originally called it at him, I thought, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? But
it's hit him in the middle.
that was
that one.
Yeah, beautifully called.
All happened very fast, though. He has got his leg up there, so could see how the umpire could get confused in that situation. But well done. That's been a good, I suppose, initiative by the AFL over the last 18 months to review all the goals.
Well, we got the right decision.
We did. That's all we want.
That's the most important thing.
And they're not going up the middle here. There was no one there.
Spur very short.
So this now, because of the wet weather and the inability to pinpoint across goals, it turns into a slog up the line, and that's not far enough.
And Ibbotson under pressure. Josh Hill a chance this time to the top of the square. Darling's got it. He's been paid the mark. He wants to play on. Handball to Redden, but time had been blown off, so he'll have to go back.
Another situation there where Fremantle called to play on because the kick was deemed not far enough. Yep. I wonder if that's a directive coming into the game. There's quite a few kicks this afternoon.
Paid the push.
Oh, there's a push.
He paid the push and the 50-metre penalty for kicking the goal afterwards.
There we go. Overturn there. Jack Darling pushed his opponent in the back.
Oh, no. And turned it over straight away, Fremantle. And the Eagles have got numbers everywhere. Kennedy at the top of the 50. Has taken the mark. He's got a man drifting forward. Jetta into the forward pocket. Waits the kick, and he's got it.
And he's a beautiful user of the ball. Now Ross will be going spare. He will be tearing his hair out.
Just lost their heads a bit here, the Fremantle defenders.
Yeah.
All the Fremantle side bringing out defence. They are panicking.
Trying to use it, and it's a bit of overuse in this.
Well, they're desperate to get the ball out of their back 50. It's been in their back 50 this whole quarter.
Lewis Jetta, the new recruit from the Sydney Swans, hasn't kicked a goal for his new club. He has now.
He's a beautiful kick at the footy. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4 skill executions that resulted in skill errors within the last 3 minutes coming out of the back line for the Dockers. There's one. That's the last one. And plays on here and finds Jetta cruising down the outside. And he threw the arms up as a ruse.
It's well played.
Clever. Beautiful kick.
Well, Jetta kicks the 100th goal of his career. Kicked 99 of them at the Sydney Swans. Where he won a premiership, of course. Back in the middle, Natanui with a clear hit out. He's down in the middle of the ground. Fremantle take advantage. The huge bomb inside 50. McKenzie couldn't mark. He wants to get it to the line and he rushes it through well.
Turn with these conditions and Brownie with these conditions, particularly when the ball comes in like that, I think they're nearly better off going with a Walters or a Ballantyne at full forward. At least they're going to be agile enough to recover for that ground ball.
I like them at the times they've been desperately small in their forward line. The Dockers, they've just had a little bit too much agility for what is a fairly big back line.
Room for distance. Lysa couldn't mark. Duggan taken high. West Coast to take the advantage.
Can't do
But
that.
it's going to come back.
Yeah, their spread's been pretty good. The Eagles haven't let them go again.
Duggan.
Take it too.
Yeah. Jetta.
And he can kick it.
Lysa in some space.
Last centre bounce jump. Natanui put a knee right into the rib cage of young Alex Pearce.
Jetta, long for Darling, got rid of Sutcliffe. Prittis,
Beautiful hands.
Gaff, and Shuey.
Wonderful play there.
Yep.
Good effort there. Good jump.
Now Lacroix in the pocket. Ibbotson slipped over, and Lacroix's taking the mark.
Really good, clean delivery there, wasn't it? It was a good jump.
It's a polar opposite to what Fremantle have been doing.
Yeah, it was.
Calculated kicks. There's nothing too risky.
Lacroix steps out, trying to work it back. Didn't have enough on it in the end. No score at all. No one down on the goal line for the Eagles.
No.
Fremantle can run it out of defence. Weller for Barlow. He goes for distance. Off the outside of the boot, up towards Pavlich. Good mark. Under pressure.
Adam Simpson will be desperately upset with his forwards. At least one to give representation on the goal line there.
Weller. Now Fremantle inside 50. They need a goal. Fife is there. Over the back, Langdon just needs it to sit up from him. And from the goal square, he bangs through a much-needed one for the Dockers.
Yes. And all to do again with Matthew Pavlich, another really good contested mark. Up on the wing this time, and look what David King just said a couple of moments ago, where maybe Fremantle's better off getting their taller players up the field. Get a Pavlich up to the wing, and then their smaller players back deeper to goal. Now, Fife was there, made a really good contest, was able to get it over the back. Langdon finishes off, but whether they put Walters and Ballantyne and leave them as the deepest forwards.
Let's go, push out.
Nick Natanui on the bench puts the knee into Pearce, but he cops the left hand to the eye, and he's sitting out for a couple of minutes.
Lice it into the ruck for West Coast. Big collision there, Fife and Redden. And Fife continues to go, another collision. And they've got a free kick. Just go the Eagles' way.
To back up David King's point, that last goal, Langdon, he actually, even though he had the one over the back, he stretched the distance between the Eagles defenders chasing him, and when he eventually kicked the goal, his pace was pretty high.
Certainly got some speed. Marching back to 12, Hearn. The long kick of the football. Deep to full forward. There's some wrestling. Arms were locked around, and it will be a free kick to Josh Kennedy of the West Coast Eagles.
Away 50 years,
Just wrapped him up. I think he turned his body in this situation, Zach. Took his eye off the football. As soon as you wrap your defender and you're not wrap your opponent and not looking at the football, that's what the umpires are looking for. And obviously Josh Kennedy.
He's lost his nerve as a defender, Zach.
Well, I think Josh Kennedy's lost his nerve from this distance as well. Have a look at that.
Usually a sharpshooter, and he has missed.
You cannot.
The stats don't lie to him.
They don't. Once again, they don't, but he's been missing them to the other side.
Overcorrected.
Well, you can, and he did.
Ball kicked out wide. Mark taken by Ibbotson. Into the middle of the ground, Fremantle. Well up, put his nose over it, did well. Butler. Lice it.
He got one in the nose as well. Oh, he's groggy.
Goes up to Butler. Shepherd. Just a little sore.
And Shepherd's back down in the middle of the ground now. He stood up and went to walk off and took a couple of staggered steps and then went back down. He still hasn't moved. He's up at least now.
A few head clashes going on now. The players aren't used to playing in these sort of conditions. They very rarely do. We've got on the bench here Alice Pearce. He's just getting strapped above the eyelid. He's had some claret pouring from that right eyebrow. So there's a few players coming off with head wounds here.
It's been a good old-fashioned derby all the way through.
Both of the sides not used to playing in the wet weather. As you said, Kingy, well up, gets a quick kick forward, but Lycett takes them up. The Eagles actually trained by dunking footies into eskies full of water before round one, just to try and get used to it, because it has been dry over the summer here in the West.
Sounds similar to Brownie's preparation.
That's dunking himself.
Gas kick.
That's that wet weather.
Good.
When you get... Let's have a look at this Shepherd one before we talk about wet weather footy. There he is running off. Watch the clash of heads here. Oh, yeah.
Just caught the side of his hip.
Eyes for the footy.
Like he well
Attack
coming
by
through.
Weller.
There's only nothing in it, but it's a bit sore.
Well, not for Shepherd.
Sheridan's knocked that straight to the line, and that's deliberate.
Inside 50s in this third quarter. Eagles 6, Dockers 2.
Luke Shuey now, the blood rule.
We'll have a halt in play, and Shuey comes from the ground.
It has been a physical game, Bernie, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We saw it right from the start. We could feel it out in the ground before the game. The tension, really, in the whole stadium. Both clubs.
What do they
Backs
call it
against the wall, I suppose.
What do they call it in boxing, Brendan? Is it the corner? Is it the stitch man? The cut man?
Cut man.
The cut man. He's working overtime on the Eagles bench tonight.
West Coast to half forward. Kennedy, red at the best. He took the mark. He's got Darling one out inside 50. The Dockers defence swarm on him. Big collision of players. Darling goes back in to win it. Zungu's feeling it underneath the pack. Johnson, Redden left it behind. Well done, Dawson.
Pavlich is the only target.
Sheridan for Pavlich. Good spoil, Schofield. Yo for McGovern. High one. Back towards Natanui. Left underneath there. Everyone missed it. And a push out. And a free kick. Well, it's gone West Coast way.
Oh, they had a 4-on-1. Once it was slipping over.
I think they've got to look at Zach Dawson down back. I don't even think his fellow defenders have the confidence in him right now that he's going to be that rock-solid intercept marker they need. Maybe move Alex Pearce down back and give Zach a run in the ruck for a while.
I think Zach Dawson has done a pretty good job on Josh Kennedy, though, for the majority of the night. So they'll be concerned about leaving that match up.
This will be a handy goal. It's a slog at Domain Stadium. That kick. Oh, great. Hill! He's marked it just inside the boundary line.
He marked that on the way down.
He went for the big leap. He was already about to hit the turf, and he's clutched it.
Think carefully before he kicks.
Steps out, snaps it back. Clever bit of work from Josh Hill.
Oh, that was a great mark. We saw it last night with Brendan Goddard. Derm was able to jump up in a similar type fashion. Josh Hill, he's got this capability to do that. Another one of the Eagles forwards, one of many Eagles forwards capable of kicking 30-40 a year. Have a look at these flags. Down they come. The derbies, 6 in a row the Dockers had won until the last derby last year, and the Eagles got back there. They won that by 24 points on their way to a grand final spot.
The West Coast winning the last derby. Dockers the 6 before that. The Eagles in control of Derby 43. They're up by 19 points. Back in the middle. Barlow. Got it locked underneath the pack. It is such a big game in the West. Right across the state from Kalgoorlie to Karratha. Broome down to Albany. It divides lounge rooms. Such a big rivalry. The Dockers looking to fight back into this one, but the West Coast pressure has been good. Spur got a handball out, stolen by Yo. Ripped it out of there was Fife. He was strong, but Gaff.
He bench pressed Elliot Yo back through the pack.
Yo. High one. Into the pocket. Kennedy wrestling. Lacroix was crunched. Ibbotson. Back for Sheridan. Goes for the top. The barrel. Yo up. Fife at the fall. Not much to kick to. Just a handball to Weller. Now the Dockers try and break through. Barlow telegraphed it a little to Subin. Alex Pearce there. The Dockers continue to keep it moving. And Barlow streaks away. Kick towards Main. And they've got numbers at the top of the square if he can move it. Main kicks it high, but it's a poor kick. Makes it tough for Langdon, who attacked it hard. West Coast got back in defence. It was well done by Redden to stand underneath it. But the kick from Main just wasn't low enough towards Langdon.
That was a goal that went beat Ed Langdon on his own for quite a while there, wasn't he, Derm? And just didn't have the vision to see him on the open side.
McGovern attacked it hard. Sutcliffe did well. Fife. A floater. Off the left, it was touched. Main dropped the mark. Looked it towards the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in deep in Dockers territory.
Well, they need to impact the scoreboard now. Since Sandilands went off in the second quarter, there's been 6 goals kicked, and the Eagles have kicked 5 of them. Inside 50s this quarter, 9-3.
Got a chance here, Fremantle. Barlow involved, having to do the ruck work. Not sure he'd ever have done that in his career. Butler after it, and we'll have another stoppage.
Have just moved back from this pack. Mackenzie comes with him. He's on the just outside, left-hand side of the screen. He'll try and sweep through.
Pass it down, Neal. His kick smothered. Zungu taken in the standing tackle. Boundary line threatening again.
No surprises there. Matthew Prutis top with Michael Barlow. He's going to improve on last week. That was the lowest total he's been kept to for a couple of years, 19 last week.
58 games it was for Matt Prutis, with 20 disposals or more. In game number 200, Dockers a chance here. Daniel Pearce tucked up on the boundary line, back to the top of the square. Alex Pearce was up, McGovern as well. Weller doing the roving. Fremantle need a goal. Snaps. It's away and only just sneaking in for a behind.
Good effort by Alex Pearce. He's been working very hard in the ruck now to go forward and still fight his way to that contest, get the ball to ground. He's showing plenty of grit tonight.
Michael Johnson trailing Natanui right down the middle of your screen there. See Natanui? You can't miss him. Johnson's his opponent for the kick in. Good pick off.
Well done by Spur to intercept. Just keep some pressure on West Coast here, but they need some scoreboard pressure to Fremantle. Spur for Daniel Pearce.
And he would like... See Redden's there. He wants to wheel around and go long on that left foot.
He does, Daniel Pearce. The long kick. Just wheels around too far. And another behind.
Maybe the dry ball, Jim. He plays on straight away and kicks that.
Yep.
It's the wet ball. Probably takes 3 or 4 metres off the distance.
Interesting time in this game.
No short targets. 1 now.
Short to Duggan.
He had 1 short target either side of the goal square. Every other target was actually outside 50.
Duggan's kick is wide. Might be too wide. It is.
That's Kings.
It's good work again there by the Fremantle Dockers just to keep that ball in the forward half. Really well organised defensively there with their zone and their press.
Neil. Neil congested forward line. The Flyers come. McGovern the spoil. Gaff tackled. Take it to the turf. Didn't have the footy. Free kick.
Now this is the tester. Once they're away from the goal square, can the Dockers hold them in here? They've been able to get the ball across to the other side and penetrate down the other wing. He's going to play straight lines though this time.
Gaff in the Natanui direction. Couldn't get a leap at it. Pritis at ground level. Clever handball to Yo. Eagles have the numbers advantage here. Gets could have paddled it on. Took possession. Was taken to ground.
Great tackle. Just turned him side on.
It was well done by Spurs.
Essentially, this is a ground ball game now. I don't think there's any advantage in having key position players per se. They're paired off. It's going to be tough to mark that ball coming inside 50. The ruck hit-outs won't have as much effect. They've just got to be simply tougher now, Fremantle.
Butler's handball put Nelson under pressure. This one inside 50, but Ibbotson reliable in defence.
Geez, he's just written off the key forward still. He played with a bloke that was pretty handy in the wet, number 18 for North Melbourne.
Pavlich, long way up the ground. Subin for Sutcliffe. Up towards Walters. He stuck the leg out. He stuck the leg out into the back of Shepherd.
He tried to Jackie Chan him away from the drop of the ball.
And infringed and gave away the free kick. Mackenzie kicked a big goal in the second quarter. Up for Natanui. 2 bites at it.
Well, that's the wet weather king he was talking about. You've got a man who's 201 centimetres and can jump through the ceiling, and Stephen Hill's there and is just able to, him being there with the wet ball, is able to make him fumble that to the ground. I mean, this is dry. He's already turned and kicked that inside 50.
Now De Boer doing the ruck work against Nick Natanui. How's that for a mismatch? He did pretty well to compete. Yeah. Neither got a hit out.
Got a 0-0 draw there, and that's what they want.
Langdon was in there. Caused the turnover. Neal's kicked to half forward. A good one. Alex Pearce.
In front. Good.
Providing a target up forward now.
Pav's worked out a bit of an angle here.
He's found some space. The kick just didn't hit the target, though. Shepherd will have the speed at ground level. Handball back for Schofield. And he's just shoved over the line by Fife.
Pav was out then. Just need to be a better kick by Pearce, and Pav's having a shot on goal there.
He worked the angle well, didn't he?
He did.
If you run straight away from the kicker, he's looking at your number. He can't give it to you. Can't let you make any speed onto it. But he just ran a little sneaky little angle there, but it wasn't the required kick.
De Boer again to do the ruck work. Knocked down to the front of the pack. Pritis got there first. On his knees for Butler. Out to half-back over the head of Kennedy. Johnson did well. And another throw in. It is a real slog in Derby 43.
Ball's been in Fremantle's forward half a lot in the last 5 minutes, but just haven't been able to capitalise and hit the scoreboard. Been very gallant. Just need to hold here.
Natanui, front position. This hit out to the path of Leclerc. Couldn't get clear. He's going to get a free kick for a hole.
Last 10
minutes. Taken. Sorry, Dirk.
Go for
Drips
it.
inside 50. Kennedy. Oh, he's dropped the mark.
The last 10 minutes. I mean, the Eagles kicked 1-1 to only 2 behinds from the Dockers. But the Dockers have actually started to win contested footy. They've won at +2 in the last 10 minutes. Their tackles are up. Their disposals are up as well. So they're playing straight lines and going a little bit further. They just shot themselves in the foot with a couple of disposals at the start
Natanui the hit out. Pritis working in and under. Conditions he will love. Chewy, good tackle by Subin.
Unbelievable to see. Matt De Boer is now in the ruck. He's rucking against Nick Natanui. Matt De Boer is 186 centimetres.
He's going all right, Brownie.
He's doing a good job, isn't he? Nick Nat, of course, is 201 centimetres.
He's made up his mind he's not going to jump the ball.
And he's given away a free kick there, De Boer, just pushing and shepherding Natanui out of the contest. They're just rolling the dice, the Dockers in the ruck, but unfortunately giving up the free kick there.
2 extra riders on the points of the goal square here for the Dockers for the sliding kick. Everyone else, 3 Eagles players in the square, a man up. So there you go.
Natanui.
Sutcliffe on the corner of the square.
Natanui, a wet footy, gives it a fairly good ride. It'll come up just short. Good spoil away by Sutcliffe and rush through by Johnson.
So they play man on the 3 targets, and then 2 float back players sit off 45-degree angles, about 7 or 8. Another blood rule.
Josh Kennedy this time.
Well, get your cut man ready down there, Kingy.
There's a fair bit of clarity being spilled out here today. There, Kennedy, you can see coming from the ground. You have to give credit to the West Coast Eagles system. They've found a way to just keep ticking over and clawing away here and building a lead. There was a hold there, Doom. Could have been a free kick, but
It's a big hold.
it's a big hold. Okay.
Yeah, they missed one there, the Umps. They're -1 there for this quarter, the Eagles.
Sutcliffe just infringing high and causing the blood spillage from Kennedy.
It does become difficult for umpires in these conditions. It's hard to read. It becomes a very contested game. Hard to see some of those indiscretions behind the plate, just off the contest.
He goes short here.
Too short. Yeah, read that well, Doom. Slapped away by Darling, and now he wants a little wrestle with Johnson. He picks him up. They're still wrestling, Darling and Johnson. Neither wanting to give a free kick away, though.
Yeah,
Spun back into play.
they're just dancing.
Natanui for Pritis. Shrugged one off. Kick goes up and under. Play on. Dawson's
Not there.
fist away. Marston had it for a moment. Lysett tries to feed it out the back. Yo in there fighting for it. Marston tackled strongly by Walters. High free kick. It's West Coast way.
Oh, this is going to get a bit willing. You called it, Kingy. There's a lot of claret being spilled out there, and even though they might be incidental, accidental, after a while you get enough nicks around the head, you start to get a bit of jack of it. Tempers are boiling over. The Dockers are starting to go in there very willingly.
Well, they know their season's on the line in a lot of ways here. 0-2 already. 0-3 if they don't get the result tonight. It's a long way back.
Marston, first game back for the season. Big moment to kick a goal, but he's hit the post.
It's been unbelievable, some of the set shot goal kicking from directly in front tonight, Dan. Unbelievably bad.
We talk about feeling. Marston was actually cited for biting in the last derby against Nick Subin. Alex Silvani got 4 weeks for a hit on Jamie Cripps. These 2 teams, they talk it down all week, but they don't like each other very much. McKenzie for Nelson, who slipped over at the wrong moment. Did want to get it back to McKenzie. High kick back to the 50. Natanui's got about 4 to beat. Did well to knock it down. Pritis is there. Neil was clever. Johnson just wants distance. Eagles have got numbers back.
That'll make it too hard for Pav.
Schofield got a shepherd from McKenzie.
So a small player might be able to get to that ball, an agile player that stayed in, might be able to get to that ball and exert some pressure and keep it there. But Pav's leg speed, that's not his fault. He's been in the game for so long. He's been a warrior. He's been brilliant. But they just need a bit of leg speed there for that type of kick to exert pressure, hold the ball, all fall down and make another stoppage and start from there.
Barlow back in the ruck, but Lysett won it clearly. Well done by Neil at the base of the pack. Zungu, Stephen Hill. Up the wing. Here's Pavlich. Walters at ground level did well. And now they can get out the back, but Main just fumbled at the last minute. Try to get it back to Walters, but the Eagles swarm. Gaff around the body. Cripps there. Neil with another possession. And up the wing, McGovern in front. Not a good night for intercept marking with the conditions the way they are. McGovern's one of the best in the business. Looking for Lysett. Another free kick. And an Eagles way.
You have a look at the players against them. They're undermanned. They're undersized. That's Mzungu against Lycett.
Wide for Shepherd, poor kick, and Fife chops it off. Fremantle can try and run it. Mzungu up the wing. Main competing. Mackenzie, good spoil. Pavlich shoveled it backwards. Lycett kept it alive and did well. Gaff quickly inside 50 for the Eagles, but Ibbotson back there again. West Coast putting them under pressure, and that releases Fremantle through the middle. De Boer with a handball to Sheridan, who loves to run. Now out into the path of Weller, who has got some speed. Josh Hill giving chase, but Weller can send it inside 50. Dangerous time for a bounce. He hooks it back, but it's a poor kick. Walters there. Redden was okay. McGovern, Nelson, and Lycett.
Missed the moment to unload the footy there.
They need to take their opportunities on the counter-attack, Fremantle.
Rain falling again. It's going to make it more difficult.
Shepherd's kick, a good one for Schofield.
To spot the ball up, especially under pressure when you're running forward, screaming forward.
They've got Jetta free at half-back.
He won't miss, is he?
Yo's further up the line. In a one-on-one with Johnson. And Johnson does enough. 36 seconds remaining.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he had to go. Alex Pearce had to draw the ball, even if he ran to the boundary.
Yeah. Ross knew that. There was a chance gone begging there, but Sheridan did miss Weller. He put it too far in front, so it took Weller wide, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it just hasn't been smooth with this wet ball.
Still time for a score. Duggan stood up in the tackle, got it to Marston. His kick, a quick one forward. Dawson got back and did well. Ibbotson. Kick has to be good for Spur. Sends it wide enough to the boundary line.
Same again. The flared out ball misses the target. The Eagles haven't really missed their targets coming out the other way.
No, they've been pretty clean. Certainly a lot cleaner than Fremantle do. And obviously it's challenging. Now these balls, they're pumped up quite tight, and when you just get a light rain, it becomes really slippery on the boot.
Maybe still time for a score. Natanui took it clean out of the ruck. Handball to Gaff. Handball to Nelson. About to be closed down. Great tackle, Weller. Fremantle through Fife to Hill. Full of run. They need a mark. Kick to the 50. Bouncing ball. Mackenzie's got 2 to beat. Time ticking away. Overrun at Pavlich. Here's Alex Pearce, but the siren sounds and denies the Dockers right on three-quarter time.
And there's Ross Lyon. He came down to the bench during a break and he was imploring his players about, get your body behind the footy, beeline the ball.